It's a fantastic game. So I look forward to seeing you around. Okay, we're playing a rated game. Turn 0 medium timer against the Dom's Hit Show. Just finished school, so I got time. Hell yeah. You will now see what a match with someone who is bad at 5D looks like. Don't sell yourself short, Dom. Dom's not bad. He's too humble. Let's just respond with d5. We're not going to do anything too crazy. We're going to go the standard. I know it's boring to see this opening, but I think it's less boring than people make it out to be. Or like, oh, like another knight f3 d4 game or whatever, but I'm not so worried about it. I think that you get some really interesting decision making out of the opening. For Chessball Discord? Okay, fantastic. Alex Base made a Discord just dedicated to Chessball. I urge you all to go check it out. Okay. Yeah, that's the standard. Bishop f4. I think we're going to respond with bishop f5. I expect e3 here probably, and then bishop e3. That's the usual. I'm always in two minds about how to proceed from here, as black at least. It's not obvious to me. Just created to help with rebalancing. Word. No, we can definitely workshop that as a crowd. I mean, Lexi's server is a bit still now, so a bit more action on his Discord won't hurt anyone, I feel. Maybe we'll lure Lexi back in 5D. Yeah, but making my home base Lexi's Discord also feels weird, you know? Okay. Knight out here. Interesting. Knight b d2. I think we'll probably go ahead and play e6, and if we can play bishop d6 ourselves, which we can before bishop d3 happens because e3 hasn't been played, then I kind of like that for us. Yeah, this knight is kind of hemmed in. It feels like that was a bit out of order. Let's see, we'll figure it out. We'll figure this out. Ooh. Interesting. I think here the play is probably knight b d7, although if we just kick the bishop now, actually, hold on, that poses a bit of an issue. Whenever you've got a bishop staring down this knight, that actually kind of paves the way for some shenanigans, although the queen's line of sight is blocked right now, not just by the knight, but also by this. So like a travel onto this board, onto like f7 or something after like knight takes doesn't, it's not actually conclusive. I feel like having a bishop out here and then forcing either the trade, which is good for me, especially because this bishop has lost tempo because it had to move twice. That's not too bad. And I feel like if bishop takes here, then queen takes here is fine for me. Although if bishop out here and then like knight out here or something, and I trade bishops and then this pawn gets to e6, staring down f6. That doesn't sound very fun for me, actually. So maybe I want to think about this a little bit. I mean, if that happens, I always have knight b d7, but then, I mean, leaving f7 undefended, I'm a little bit cramped. If here and then takes, that feels good. But if here and then something like this, I don't feel so good. So actually, is knight h6 like a necessary prophylactic move here? I don't know. What's the alternative? Okay, so if h6 and then pushes e3, then this knight doesn't really have anywhere to go for this queen to activate itself. Then we kind of resign ourselves to playing knight b d7 to recapture here. And it gives him a lot of space, which is maybe a little bit spooky. You know what? We're going to do it. Maybe it's overkill. Maybe we don't have to play this defensively. Taking a bishop one turn in the past isn't the best idea because the bishop can just go back into the past and recapture itself. So we don't have to open up the e file by recapturing with e takes f5 on that board. If that's his intention, is like win a piece or open up or whatever. Because I don't mind losing this bishop on this board in exchange for retaking it, and he doesn't have a knight there, so we gear up for a travel onto f2. That doesn't feel bad for us. g3 is actually a good prophylactic move. I mean, the bishop, like the Frappuccino bishop doesn't do the most work in the world, staring down this diagonal of pawns, but it does kind of liberate his knight because he doesn't have to worry about like sacks onto f2 from, you know, after queen h4, and he also doesn't have to worry about Tchaikovsky ideas on the g file. Question is what I want to do now. I think now I'm okay with this move because if takes, then here can't do this. If bishop here, then I'm okay with this because afterward. Okay, so candidate moves, right? I'm thinking either bishop d6 or knight b d7. Bishop d6 or knight b d7. The problem is that knight b d7 precludes us from playing bishop d6 in the future because obviously this queen is cut off from that bishop. But of course we could play something like bishop d6, queen e7, and then knight d7. But that's like a lot of moves for not really making very much happen. But we're not on like a very hard timer here. Here, and then trade, and then like the knight, and then... You know what? We're just going to play bishop d6. It feels right. It feels right. And I was worried about him putting on pressure on f7 with the knight before, but since we pushed h6, I don't think that we have to worry about it. The travel happens. We're going to recapture with this bishop. Forgot to turn the animation off. But, you know, that's that. It's happened. I feel good about this because we get a travel onto f2. The only problem is that we get a travel onto f2 on a board where g3 has already been pushed, so it doesn't feel like super lethal. But we do have, because the follow-up, okay, we play, I don't know, like trade here or kick this bishop away somehow, get this queen to f6, and then travel onto here, and then as a follow-up we do have like knight check here, and then after king takes is forced, king moves wherever, knight check here, take the bishop, and then next turn it's too late for him to close the diagonal, and then this queen here is mate. Could add an automatic animation disabling feature to the Mighty program. I do wish it was disabled to start with. That would be mighty nifty. One thing that he might not realize, well, I'm curious to see what he'll do with this bishop. It is his turn on this board now. It's the only downside of recapturing with the bishop itself. It's as simple as changing a byte in memory. Yeah. Honestly, not a bad call, I think. Okay, so we can do the same bishop kick move here. If he moves his knight here, it does threaten this bishop here, and so we have to recapture on this board, which doesn't feel fantastic, obviously. I can't really set up a recapture from here. That's fine. On this board, I think we actually want to play knight bd7 because I prefer to capture with the knight here to clog up the e-file so that we don't have to worry about, like, if knight out here, idea to capture this bishop here on this board, then we can capture, and then, like, if we have a knight here already, then we cover up with the knight, and if we don't have a knight here already, then we just play the knight here the next turn or something along those lines. And then if he takes back, the file is still clogged up, so we don't have to worry about opening up the diagonal. I mean, alternatively, that, like, arguably more responsible move might have been something like bishop d7 or e7 rather, just to, like, proactively clog up the file. But we can still do that in response to, again, that's something where he has to he has to telegraph that with knight f3 here on this board. Oh, okay. He captures on that board. But there he really just sacrifices a bishop for a pawn. We can either recapture with this bishop, which honestly might actually just be the best play, because I'm not too worried about anything on this board, and we're going to travel soon anyway. Although it does put us down at tempo, but it feels the safest structurally. The alternative is just capturing with this bishop here. Actually, I think we want to capture with this bishop and maintain the tempo advantage that results from that whole interaction, right? Because he can't pull a knight here to kick this. He can't. Okay, I feel the best about that by far. Yeah. We're going to open our own F-file here in exchange for kind of bullying this king. If we check like this, the only option that he has is taking like that. And then we can maybe check and then here and then, like, threaten takes. Okay, I'm actually okay with that. And maybe we can think about a mating net here now, where maybe, like, push this bishop up. Oh, interesting. Interesting. How many turns do we have to stall? Okay, if here, then we go to f5, f4, f3, f2. That board isn't fantastic, so we actually want to do that next turn probably. Although this does threaten on board and it forces the capture, but that doesn't actually do, like, a ton for us. Here, do we take that bishop and allow the recapture with the knight? Or is that spooky? I think it's most responsible to... The fact that f7 isn't covered on this board actually makes me, like, a tiny bit nervous. I could probably take here. But then if I take here, then I don't want to make a quiet move on this board. Right. Take here forces take here, and then this actually becomes an issue. We can maybe alleviate both of those problems by pushing h5. We can also check on this board. Decisions. We have so many options. Too many options. The paradox of choice. If we take here, we offer the take back. Could just give up that knight. Straight up. Doesn't seem wise. And if we go queen here, and then takes, and then, like, if this pawn push happens, could go queen f6 now and defend that knight from the other board. There isn't a great way to do that. If here, then this is forced. Then we can check again. Then we can move our bishop out. And then where do we get? Okay. So let's do the math. Here, takes is forced. So that's one turn in the future. So, okay, currently if we go queen out here, then we end up f5, 4, 3, 2. So if we delay that by going knight takes, bishop check, we end up here on this board. So we actually need to delay by one more turn, if that makes sense, before it's like straight up mate on this board. Then again, we do have, if we check here, then there's check 1, then queen moves, so, or king moves, so propagates to here. Check 2, then king moves, or you know, then has to takes. And actually that's mate, because this isn't defended on that board. But if somehow he can take, then this is another check, whether the king moves to here, here, or here. If moves to here, then we just straight up win. So that propagates to here, and then this is mate. Okay, we have a mating net. Okay, we did the math, and this works. It just works. And so here, let's just defend with the queen. All right, okay, we did the math. We did the math. We did the math, and this wins. We did the math, and this wins. I feel good about this. Could have done something more forcing up here, honestly. But the fact that he's going to be in check on this board means I'm not too worried about, for example, this bishop like roughing us up and opening this diagonal. Also, it's impossible for him to play. This move is forced on this board, so it's going to be impossible for him to activate this queen, which is really nice. So I just think that this kind of seals the deal. Yeah, arguably this was like unnecessarily. I also actually don't even want to let this knight hop in like that, so it doesn't even feel fantastic. But with one queen, he's not going to be able to do anything. The only place that his knight can go is here. I feel quite good about this. I think we're in very good shape. Oh, interesting. So here we're actually going to do this. It feels like the safest move. And here we're just going to give check. Not too worried about this. We could have pushed the pawn, but honestly, this just feels safer. We can also, now this queen is over here, just move this king up and prepare to check next turn. But actually, we won't even play on this board next turn, so it's not a big deal. We're not too worried about it. That's fine with us. Queen out. And here, I think that we prepare to deliver check. Pass check. But we're actually, when it's our next turn, we're not even going to move on that board. We're just going to travel with this queen. So this is fine. Even if he gives us check, even if he soft mates us on this board, which he can't do, obviously, we're still cool because we're gonna jump into the past on this board. Right here. Only move, then check, then this is actually mate. Feels good. Yeah, I'm gonna guess he doesn't see it. There we go. GG. GG, Dom. Dom says, oops. Yeah. No, it was spooky. The attack here was spooky. F7. Yeah, what else is new? Well, F2, but, you know, we get the picture. Yeah. Yeah, even if you had moved your king, like, up instead, you know, there was still, like, check this king up here on this board. And then after king takes, there was check here. And then this queen is mate. Which worked out pretty nicely. At least I think that was in time. I hope that was in time. Because I didn't do the math. I saw no way of winning after that travel. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Although, I mean, if... Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Well... Probably not. All right. I reported the loss. Oh, right. Okay. Let's rep the W. Woo! All right. Cool. Thanks for the game, Dom. I appreciate it. You came through and no one else would accept the challenge. What a guy. We can always rely on Dom.